Awesome. Hi, thanks everybody for joining us. For those that didn't see the last video in what is a series of our programmatic updates, I'm Sean Ullman. I'm the COO here at IAVA. And as a nice little trail from our technology update, we thought it would be important to have a conversation today about what is our life-changing program, the Quick Reaction Force. So I have here with us Hannah Sinoway, who has been with the program for 8 years and evolved and continued to progressively increase responsibility and was instrumental in the program's growth over the past year. So I want to take a moment, allow Hannah to introduce herself, and then we'll do a Q&A about the program so that everyone can learn a little bit more, hopefully, and know the resources that are available to everyone in this community, whether it's a veteran, a spouse of a veteran, a family member of a veteran, or anyone within the community that needs help. The now Quick Reaction Force is here to help. So Hannah, if you would like to take a moment, introduce yourself, and then we'll start talking a little bit about the program and the changes over the past year.
Sounds great. Welcome, everyone. My name's Hannah Sinoway, and I'm the Executive Vice President for Strategy and Engagement with IAVA. As Sean mentioned, I've been with the organization for just about 8 years, and I've been working in some capacity with the Quick Reaction Force program the entire time I've been at the organization. Formerly, it was the Rapid Response Referral program. And one of the reasons that we're here today is to really share some exciting shifts and changes in the overall program, which we'll definitely get into shortly.
Excellent. Thank you, Hannah. So I thought it was important to talk a little bit about why we shifted the program. So for 8 years now, what was formerly the Rapid Response Referral Program was the leading tech-savvy way for veterans to be able to reach resources that they need. And we decided as a capacity effort and a way to get more veterans the help they need, we were going to transition the program out of what was really a functioning and strong beta into a full-on launch of the Quick Reaction Force that we did just about a year ago now. I think the start of Q2 of 2020, we launched this program just before the pandemic started to alter the course of the entire community. And we found that it was the perfect time to launch a program, ironically. But through our work, we found that the program really fit a need because veterans were being disproportionately impacted by the landscape of the pandemic. So I thought first for us, Hannah, if you could tell us a little bit about the program as an overview so everyone can kind of know what we do, and then we'll talk a little bit about the changes.
Great. So QRF is a comprehensive care management program. It's remote. It's always been remote. So a very low barrier of entry. People can reach out to us digitally or on the phone. And really the crux of our program is working with any veteran, any family member. It doesn't matter when you served, where you served, how you served. We're here for you, and we're intaking folks, really listening and figuring out what the challenges are, and then triaging needs and ultimately connecting folks to the right resources. QRF really understands that, the idea of a singular need, a one-off referral, a list of resources where half the phone numbers may or may not work is not effective for folks that are in need of help. So our program is really built on that individual, comprehensive, kind of holistic piece. And historically, we always knew that we had a great program, that our model worked, that we were helping people, but we were really limited by our inability to build capacity, which is really part of what catapulted us into this launch of the QRF program.
Tell us a little about what has changed with the program since we launched and the new offerings available.
Sure. So we moved, which was really exciting for me as someone that worked on the front lines for so many years. We moved to a 24/7 model. So no longer was it, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 type of thing, folks can reach out to us literally day or night, every day of the year, and that phone is going to be picked up from our team. So that's number one. Number two, as we've kind of grazed on, is our ability to build capacity. For example, in the past year since our launch, we increased capacity by 400%. So that's not just a number, right? That means that we literally served 4 times as many veterans that were in need, which is very, very powerful and extremely important always, but particularly given a pandemic year. Additionally, we have, all of our staff are veterans themselves, so they uniquely can understand what folks are reaching out about and have been through some of those situations themselves. And then finally, we added a 24/7 clinical component. So what that means is that we have clinical in-house supervision and oversight every minute of every day, which gives us a certain level of confidence in keeping our clients safe.
Thank you. I mean, it's quite a growth in the program in what was a short period of time. And, as everyone watching this knows, that we have a epidemic within the veteran community, and it is mental health related death by suicide. We have been fighting in DC for a long time. Probably our more forward-facing programmatic efforts are to offer this community resources so they don't view the last resort of suicide and death by suicide as their only option. And it's something that we've been working on. We passed legislation this past year related to the 988 phone number, which will be rolling out in the years ahead, to the Commander's John Scott Hannon Act, which will help us across the board with more resources for this community. But it is a terrible 22 veterans a day that are falling into this terrible trap where there's no other options. Part of this program is designed to help veterans who need this help. So can you tell us a little bit about how the clinical oversight helps in this moment?
Sure. So we've always had an MOU with the Veterans Crisis Line, which is a very important resource for this community. And now that we have this clinical oversight piece in-house, not only do our staff members have a high level of support at their fingertips for dealing with acute callers, crisis situations, but we also have kind of a red flag in-house, so to speak, right? So if I'm on the phone with a caller, they're expressing to me that they're having suicidal thoughts, I can kind of raise my hand and flag for that clinical supervisor to come over. We can patch them into the call. We can kind of assess and work together with that veteran to give them an extra layer of support, really determine the next steps, whether that's deploying law enforcement to their house or connecting them to VCL, or really just de-escalating the situation and developing a safety plan with them. In addition to the clinical oversight piece, when we're talking about veteran suicide, not every veteran that is contemplating suicide or goes down that pathway is struggling with a mental health challenge. And a big part of QRF is really addressing some of the other areas in a veteran's life that can get someone to that point. So whether that's a financial assistance situation, interpersonal challenges, other things that impact the veteran, we're doing that work every day, even when it's not with the acute crisis cases, which is a really important point of the program.
Excellent. It's essentially a pathway up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So you can't, without basic life support, there's no way that we can expect anyone to reach self-actualization. And that's part of this program, is to offer the underlying opportunities for everyone in this community or tangentially connected to this community to reach self-actualization. So before we proceed on the programmatic aspect, I do want to say that anyone that is finding themselves or a family member or a friend in this camp, please stop what you're doing, call 855-91-RAPID and talk to somebody within our community that is designed and trained specifically to help in this situation. So whatever you're doing, 855-91-RAPID, 24/7 is the new programmatic offering that Hannah had mentioned. Please take advantage of this and start the process of a conversation that leads to ongoing peer-to-peer support. That is a new evolution of this program. If nothing else from this, I implore you, please, to take advantage of the resources that are easily available at your hand. Thank you. Hannah, this is a deep conversation. I think we'll transition back over now. It is such an important one for us to have, but Tell me a little bit about how this transition has gone over the past year, and a little bit about kind of the data that supports that.
Sure. So, as I mentioned, we saw a steep increase in folks reaching out for help. So we made this shift at the right time. And it's gone really well. We have, more veterans than ever reaching out for help. And on its face, that's not great. But when you really dig deep, this program is here for folks. So that means that there is a resource available for literally any veteran or family member across this country. And we're remote. You can get to us, as I mentioned, by phone, digitally, and we've really expanded our partner base. So part of our launch is using the 8 years of experience and expertise of what was formerly the RIP program and pushing it into the QRF program to expand our services and more effectively meet the needs of our community.
Thank you. I think the origin story of any type of program like this is interesting. We were doing all this work in DC to change laws that impact the lives of veterans, and doing it digitally in a high-tech, high-touch, very savvy way. And we started to get people reaching out to us on Facebook and MySpace before that and asking us hey, I need help and I don't know how to navigate these resources, which is how the program kind of came to be, right? We were helping people what would be ripping, as Hannah mentioned, rip the program, rapid response referral program, ripping through the red tape to find the resources that they need. And that evolved over time to be a very comprehensive look at referral-based outreach. And then now it's transitioned into a much more meaningful, much more high touch, 24/7 ongoing programmatic support. So we're excited about this. I think that it has a lot of opportunity to continue to expand. So Hannah, why don't you tell me a little bit about the types of need that folks are reaching out to us on. And before that, we'll say, Hannah mentioned there are veterans that will be on the phone with you, veterans, members of our community that are designed to help. And that is also because mostly that they know what you're going through. And we talk about family members. If you reach out and you have you're a spouse or a significant other or a partner of someone that's a veteran or serving, we also have people on staff that can help with that. So you're talking to somebody that can help you with your specific problem. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the opportunities that are available and why people are reaching out to us.
Sure. So the top needs really historically over time are related to emergency financial assistance. And that's really mostly about housing, food insecurity, utilities, transportation to critically important medical or mental health appointments. And then, housing and homelessness is always up there, particularly since the pandemic hit, employment also on the rise, and navigating the resources and benefits that are available to folks. So, we can't share client names. We abide by HIPAA and we take confidentiality very, very seriously. But I can give you kind of a couple examples of, why folks are reaching out and kind of how that process works, if that's helpful.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Great. So when we're looking at housing, for example, we will have someone reach out, they'll call, panicked. I just received a 3-day notice for an eviction. I have 2 small kids. I literally don't know who to call. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out, right? So we understand that getting an eviction notice often doesn't happen in a bubble or in a vacuum, and that there are other challenges that veteran and their family are likely facing. However, with a situation like this, we're going to jump. We're going to stop that bleed, right? So we're going to reach out to a wide variety of our partner organizations, both within the VA and outside of the VA if necessary. We're going to prevent that eviction. And then we're going to work closely with that family so that next month when rent is due, we don't have a similar situation. So whether that's untreated mental health issues, employment challenges, legal issues, difficulty maybe accessing precious education benefits. So that's kind of the way that a case goes. Another example, I think, which is really important to think about is, the employment piece. Employment challenges aren't just unemployed veterans, right? Oftentimes we have extremely talented folks, they're transitioning home, and transitioning into the civilian workforce can be incredibly difficult, particularly if you have other challenges, family needs, anything else going on in your life. So really doing that individualized work with folks. So we're not just sending them to the local Department of Labor veterans rep and saying, thanks for calling. I hope you have a great day. Best of luck to you, right? This is digging deep. What are your skills? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your abilities? And working closely to get folks on that pathway to not just a job, but a job that's going to provide them the financial means that they require for their family, but also that sense of purpose and value and belonging, which is so important for folks.
Thank you. I think it's important to say, like, we're a small and mighty nonprofit doing as good a work as we possibly can. And through this program, we aren't in a position, unfortunately, as an organization to be offering cash to help. So we're referring people. Can you tell me about how we refer to the local organization designed to offer that on the ground support in need?
Sure. So again, we're always going back to the ethos of the program, right? It's individual. So veteran A is not going to be the same as veteran B, even if they both show up saying, I need X amount of dollars for utilities and rent and food. So we're really going to look at, what's the most urgent need. And then we're going to rely on our trusted, 8-year in the making, comprehensive partner web that we work with very effectively. And we're never just going to send someone to say, I think these 3 or 4 organizations may be able to help you. Why don't you reach out and report back, right? It's the opposite. So we're doing warm transfers, we're doing research, but we're also having that veteran involved, right? We're standing side by side with folks. We're working together. For me, when I was on the front lines, obviously preventing an eviction, very important. That's a beautiful moment, and that felt good. But, years into the program, what was more important to me was when I worked with a veteran and their family, and they gained those skills over time to really get on pathways toward more stable futures for the long term, so that the next time that they fell, they knew how to pull their bootstraps up, or they knew, who to call and who to work side by side with. So it's really about long-term care for folks that need it and desire it.
I truly wish we could share the stories because they're really impactful. I've had multiple folks come over to me through our DC events, our in-person events, to tell me that, hey, this program saved my life. And that's something that I did not really realize in its true sense until I kind of dug more into it and found ways to achieve our goals of being able to help more veterans through this program. And we've achieved that. So tell me a little bit about what happens if someone reaches out to us. If someone calls 855-91-RAPID or goes to quickreactionforce.org to learn more about our services and fills out a digital intake form, like what can be expected on both of those paths?
Sure. So if you call into us, as we mentioned, it doesn't matter what time of day, if it's a holiday, the middle of the night, that phone is going to be picked up live by a veteran peer. And our, initial frontline job is to listen. So needs can be different, right? Maybe someone's calling because they don't understand their GI Bill benefits, but they're not in a crisis, stressful situation. So we're going to listen. We're going to determine what their needs are, and then we're going to explain what's going to happen next. So for, an example like that, it's, where are you having trouble? What are the confusions? Okay, I don't have that answer off the top of my head, but I'm going to research it and I'll call you tomorrow. What's a great time to call you at? And here are the other offerings of our program if you need anything else. Same goes for digital intake form, if that's the example. If the example is something that's a little bit more serious, it's the same thing, right? We're there to support you and listen to you and have your back. So we're going to get the information that we need, but we're not going to torture you through an hour-long intake, getting information that's quite unnecessary to help you meet your goals. And then we're going to work closely with you and triage. So we're going to do the most important work first, connect you with the appropriate partners, follow up with you and the partner, and really stand beside you and make sure that you have what you need. When you fill out the digital intake form, we will get back to you within 24 hours. And there's a spot on the form where you can let us know, do you want to call? Do you want an email? And when would you like that correspondence? So we really work around schedules of folks to make it as easy and convenient and accessible as possible.
Excellent. And when someone reaches out to us, gets their immediate need solved, the 24/7 ongoing peer-to-peer support, that can be done through email, through call, through text, through whatever makes the most sense, through a structured and scheduled callback, right? Like, depending on whatever the need is something that we offer, and we're very pleased to say that we continue to touch base and monitor the needs as they grow, change, and modify over time. So, and as it relates to the program, is there anything else that you think it's important to touch on?
I mean, I think it's just important for anyone watching, anyone that's going through a challenge, knows someone that's going through a challenge. There is hope and there is help out there. I know personally how difficult it can be to reach out for help. And I think there's a resistance there as humans in the veteran community as well. And we're here for you. We are standing by. It doesn't matter, again, you know, when you served, where you served, how you served. We work with folks with every single discharge, every era. And we're, you know, our goal is for you to call us or for you to reach us digitally so that we can help you and you can really find that meaning and purpose and sense of belonging and prosper in your life. So please don't hesitate. We are here for you. Again, it's 855-91-RAPID or quickreactionforce.org.
Thank you, Hannah. And this evolution of this program was vital. We found over the past year, as we mentioned, 3,500 clients served over the past year, which is 400% more clients served basically in 2020 and into the first quarter of 2021 than we had served in the year prior. And that was through our capacity building efforts and our network of strong partners that are important to our community. You know, we know this is a need that exists. We were uniquely filling it for the past 8 years, and now we're uniquely filling it as the Quick Reaction Force is in full force for us, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to take a moment and ask that if you want to continue to see this program succeed, please consider, you know, talking to your corporate employer, yourself individually, any foundation network you have, sharing this information about 855-91-RAPID and the quickreactionforce.org through Twitter and Facebook and other areas that you can reach out to people, and really consider a cash gift in support of this program. It will go directly to serving the clients that we're serving. It will continue to expand our program and allow more opportunity, whether that's $1, $11, $100, $10,000, $1 million, whatever that contribution looks like. We will funnel those resources directly into this program to ensure that the community gets what they need. And that is an important aspect of this. So please take a moment and reach into your pockets if you can and consider supporting this program. We have seen it expand, and we know firsthand the stories that we're sharing a little bit at the highest level of. So please, I can't ask enough of this. It will go into this program. And thank you for your work, Hannah, over the past few years and the growth of this program. The community as a whole needs it. So we'll try to be cognizant of everyone's time. But as a last plug, 855-91-RAPID, no matter the challenge, or the quickreactionforce.org, and we will call it you back based on your specific instructions. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if you do want to see more of these type of programmatic updates from IAVA, please leave a comment below, and we will do our best to reach out. This is 100% nonpartisan effort. This is helping a community that has proven to need help. And as they ask, we want to make sure that we solve it. Thank you so much, Hannah, for joining us today. And thank you all for watching. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to IAVA. We are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.